てないため絶対サービスキープしろこっちかフォロースルーに祝って絶望へのプレリュードを聞けそしてハードスタートは手わかる
Hey everyone, it's CurlyHairedHero, and welcome back to Prince of Tennis 2005 Crystal Drive. We're in the maximum overkill tournament here using Ryoma. This is the tournament that I mistakenly thought I was in the first tournament, or even just the first episode of Season 4. But I don't know how to read Japanese, which is why I got really confused. But now that I've actually gone back, I would say spoken to, but I've just looked at people online that have at least figured out which tournament is which. We're actually in the correct tournament here. We're using Ryoma here because we need to use him in order to get Kirihara. And we're up against Reggie here, who we've actually faced off a bunch of times. He is in the last school, the yellow school. He's in that school. He's friends with Inui. They used to be like childhood friends or something like that. And they play very similar. They both play data tennis. He's a lot better than Inui, I think. Especially stats-wise. Not to mention he's in a way better school. Because considering they're like the national champions. But I think, I don't know if you want to count Segaku as the better school. Because they do, spoiler alert. But they do end up facing each other in the last chapters of the manga. And they do end up beating them, becoming the national champions for whatever tournament that was. I think it was just a national tournament, or it must have been national. I don't think it was regional. But basically, yeah, they're technically better than them because they did beat them. But it's a guy who kind of has like plot armor, so I don't know if that really counts, to be honest. But speaking of plot armor, usually I'm able to get through these things extremely easily, especially with Ryoma, because he has serve specials and also serve return specials, and I can usually just mash through them really easily to get through my opponents. But in this tournament, they're actually on the hard difficulty, finally, so they're actually really difficult to get past with your specials. Or maybe not super difficult, but they're way harder than they were before. Before I would just be able to use a special and just kind of like talk about my day and have a great time kind of deal. Here, nope, that's not the case. They are returning all my serves, they're doing everything in this tournament. And, it kind of balances out because the gauge, I showed it last time, but the gauge is maxed out. So you can basically use specials whenever you want. Usually you can only do that when you're in the awakening mode, which Reggie is in now. But instead, it just happens all the time. Throughout the entire match, you'll just always have specials. Thankfully, Reggie is not really someone that uses specials often, so I don't think we have to worry about that all that much. It's not like facing against, like, I don't know, a lot of the characters I like using, like Sengoku or Kamui, characters like that just really have a special like every second that they can use it like at any point in the court. Those guys are really dangerous in this kind of mode because they can just instantly use their specials, and most times it'll just teleport them to where the ball is, so they don't even have to be, good placement. Yeah. Another one is like Shishido. Shishido is just a pain in the ass in this mode. He's like near indestructible because he can just run to where the ball is automatically every single time. Another one that's kind of in the opposite direction is Kaido, the snake guy from Segaku. I just did his namesake move, but his specials are really obnoxious because they just go and zip zap all around the screen, all over the court, and they make you chase over it every single second. So that's he's one of those characters that's on, like, if I had to make like a tier list for characters that I would never want to play in this format, it's definitely him and Shishido. They're like S tier, like they're whatever, they're like tier 0, they're banned. Like, they cannot be allowed because they just make the game too broken. Yeah, I would say another one should technically be Ryoma because he does have moves that he can use forever, but there's also the fact that he has 0 grip, you know, and 0 power, so he's really not that big of a deal. I cannot seem to get the serves or return of serve special to come out. But yeah, he has really low grips. You can easily racket KO him. He doesn't have a lot of power, so he's really not that big of a deal. But he does have a lot of specials you can use over. Specifically, he has the serve special, but it's really all not that big of a deal. The twist serve, you know, it's kind of predictable where it goes, and it's not like he has any other specials. You know, he doesn't have. Yeah, well, he has the twist serve, and then you can, you know, do 2 different variations on it. But it's not like if you do that, he'll do it at a completely crazy angle or anything like that. Because the only thing that would make it really difficult is if he were to start. Is he just making me automatically do? Yep, he's just automatically making me do lobs. Alright. I forgot he does that. That would be really annoying if he started spamming that. But, yeah, Ryoma's serve isn't all that bad. If you were to spam it a lot, just because it is pretty predictable, you can try and mix up with the different angles, but I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But then again, I've never really even. I don't think I've faced Ryoma often. I know I've faced him a couple of times. I know I definitely have. And he really wasn't that big of a deal. I was probably maybe like either a doubles tournament. I think I've faced him a couple of times in doubles tournaments, and then also a couple of times in like maybe like the top of the lefty or whatever, because there's really not that many lefties. So I think I faced him in that, but I don't remember that being that difficult. For his serve, you can either do A or B, and it does a different angle, and I think there's corresponding to where you are on, or rather on which side of the court the move is more effective, because you see he like switches over every single time, so he uses a different hand to do it. Whereas if I were to do, right now I'm pressing B, if I were to do A, it kind of does that weird like rolly thingy that it does. So it does like, I think it's supposed to be an inverted curve, but it just looks really silly. And that's usually the one that Reggie's really easily able to hit back. So I'm going to try and not do that. And then I'm doing here the A drive, which is just a return of serve with the rising shot, or the half volley, really. It's called the half volley in actual tennis, but here they call it the rising shot because, you know, it's anime and they gotta make it sound cool. But basically what it is I'm pretty sure I've gone over this before, but it's when you hit the ball pretty much as soon as it bounces off the ground. So you give your opponent as little reaction time as possible to react to the ball, rather than, you know, waiting for it to bounce towards you, get good in position. You just hit it as soon as possible, so that as soon as it rises up, you hit the shot, which is why they call it the rising shot, but you hit it and it'll automatically, you know, I shouldn't say it automatically go over. It'll just go through is what I'm trying to say. I was going to say it automatically goes through, but that's nowhere near the case, and that's nowhere near what I was trying to say. But in any case, we've been a match point for a little bit here. Let's see if we can finish it off with the A drive here. There we go. And I think he has another one where it's like B drive, where he like slides into it and hits it with a lot of topspin, so it does like a B. But in any case, we're gonna take down Reggie here. We did pretty good, considering he did get us a couple of times with his special. He even managed to go into awakening mode quite a couple of times. But we got a bunch of service aces on him. He managed to get one service ace on us, but 2 smash aces. We didn't get any, but we got a bunch of return aces thanks to the A drive, and I used a whole butt ton of super special shots, because why the hell would I not if there's no restrictions on it? Alright, take care of yourself.
Ore ni makasete oke.